Namaste everyone. This is Dr. Pratibha K.S., Head Department of Biotechnology at KLE Society's S. Nijlingappa College, Rajayanagar, Bengaluru. Today I'm before you to present a lecture talk on DNA ligase. In the cell, the functions of DNA ligase to repair single stranded breaks or double stranded DNA breaks during DNA replication. It means this DNA ligase responsible for the sealing or ligating the discontinuities wherever in the DNA molecule. Okay, ligase enzyme catalyzes the formation of phosphodiester bonds between 3' hydroxyl and 5' phosphate terminal of nucleotides. Thus, ligase is able to join unrelated DNA and facilitates the joining of DNA strand together. It means here the ligase enzyme responsible for synthesizing the phosphodiester bond between the two adjacent nucleotides. Okay. Then E. coli and other bacterial DNA ligase utilizes NAD plus as energy donor, whereas in T4 bacteriophage, T4 DNA ligase uses ATP as cofactor. Okay, reaction of ligation requires source of energy. Okay, this DNA ligase enzyme ligate blunt-ended DNA molecule and sticky ends DNA molecule. Okay, blunt-ended, that is even cut, sticky ends are staggered cut or cohesive ends that will be ligated by the DNA ligase enzyme. The role of DNA ligase is to seal nicks in the backbone of double-stranded DNA after lagging strand formation and to join the Okazaki fragment. Nicks means that's the gap. Okay. It has been exploited by genetic engineers to join DNA chains to form recombinant DNA. The most widely used DNA ligase is isolated from T4 bacteriophage. T4 DNA ligase needs ATP as a cofactor. The enzyme from E. coli uses cofactor, okay, NAD plus. Now let us understand the function of this particular DNA ligase enzyme. This DNA ligase enzyme responsible for joining the discontinuity in the DNA molecule. That may be at the double stranded DNA level or maybe at the single stranded DNA level. For example, here you can see the break, right? The break means here one nucleotide and here one nucleotide, right? Opposite nucleotides are connected through hydrogen bonds. DNA ligase job is to synthesis or formation of phosphodiester bond. This DNA ligase, wherever the single strand breaks are there, right? When you treat DNA ligase enzyme, this DNA ligase which is going to seal the phosphodiester bond between the two adjacent nucleotides. Okay. Then joining of two molecules are double stranded DNA. So you can see double stranded DNA molecule, both the strands you got the nicks, right? There is a break is there. When in both the strand, this in the particular strand, other strand, when the break occurred, okay, then you know, when you treat the DNA ligase enzyme, this DNA ligase enzyme responsible for the joining of two molecules of double stranded DNA molecule, and that you can see that reaction can be seen here in the repair condition. And also we'll use this DNA ligase enzyme in the construction of recombinant DNA. Okay. See, in the final step in construction of recombinant DNA molecule is joining together the vector molecule and desired DNA to be cloned. Okay. So to join this vector DNA molecule and this foreign DNA molecule, a DNA to be cloned, a DNA to be introduced into the vector DNA molecule, ligated upon the treatment of DNA ligase enzyme. Okay, so DNA ligase joins or catalyzes or synthesis the phosphodiester bond wherever the breaks which has occurred. Okay, it means this DNA ligase enzyme joins both sticky and blunt ends of the DNA molecule. Which means if this is the blunt end DNA molecule, we need to introduce the foreign DNA with the blunt ended DNA molecule for the compatibility. If this end is sticky ends, you need to use here also the sticky ends. If we are unable to obtain. If this is the sticky end and this is the blunt end, by using different gene manipulative techniques, we can go for converting this blunt ended DNA molecule into sticky ended DNA molecule. Same thing, you can do it here also. Okay. Now let us understand again the function of the DNA ligase enzyme. Okay, the main function of the DNA ligase enzyme is to join the DNA molecule. Okay, this ligase enzyme can join this one DNA molecule or even two DNA molecules of different source. This DNA may be from the prokaryotic and this DNA from the eukaryotic. That time, both prokaryotes and eukaryotic DNA molecule can be joined in the presence of DNA ligase enzyme. So, joining enzyme that joins the ends of two double stranded DNA molecule, and the process is called ligation. The bond former is called phosphodiester bond. Okay, between the two adjacent nucleotides, we can see the formation of the phosphodiester bond. Opposite nucleotides which are connected through hydrogen bonds. Between the 5' phosphate and 3' hydroxyl, okay, there you can see the formation of the phosphodiester bond in one DNA fragment. And this DNA ligase requires ATP and NAD plus for their activity. For example, T4 DNA ligase. Now let us go through here what is phosphodiester bond. See, whenever you take any DNA molecule, one end you are going to get here 5' phosphate molecule negatively charged, okay, 5' phosphate molecule, other end 3' hydroxyl group. These are the two terminal regions of the DNA molecule. Whenever you cut DNA molecule, one end will be a free end or hanging of 3' hydroxyl can be seen, other end 5' phosphate can be seen. This is the one nucleotide. One nucleotide means you can say there will be the presence of nitrogenous base, then this is the deoxy or ribose sugar, then phosphate molecule will be there. So this is the one nucleotide. Okay, if there are 3 phosphate, then you can mention that the presence of ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate, presence of 3 phosphate. But when this nucleotide, nitrogenous base, ribose sugar and phosphate molecule, when they form phosphodiester bond with the adjacent nucleotide, here you can see the base, ribose or deoxyribose sugar, and here between this one nucleotide and another nucleotide, here you can see the phosphodiester. There are 2 ester molecules, okay. Phosphodiester molecule can be seen here, okay. This phosphodiester bond synthesis will be done by the DNA ligase enzyme. Okay, now let us go through here the role of DNA ligase in vivo. Missing phosphodiester bond will be synthesized by the DNA ligase on treatment. Okay, then now let us go through your overview of ligation. See, this is the vector DNA molecule and this is our desired DNA molecule. When you treat here the DNA ligase enzyme, this is going to synthesize or will responsible for the formation of phosphodiester bond between 5' phosphate, 3' hydroxyl, 3' hydroxyl and 5' phosphate. So phosphodiester bond synthesis can be seen in this particular condition. Okay. So here also you can see the differences between the sticky ends and the staggered cuts. Sticky ends and the blunt ends. Okay, here you can see this is the blunt end and here also you can see this is the blunt end. So blunt ended DNA molecule very easily ligated with the another blunt ended vector DNA molecule. This is the sticky ended DNA molecule ligated with the sticky ended DNA molecule. Okay. See, here you can see the after the treatment of DNA ligase, you got here the recombinant DNA plasmid. Here also this is recombinant DNA plasmid with the sticky ends and this is with the blunt ends. Now let us go through how that particular phosphodiester bond will be forming and where exactly this phosphodiester bond will form. Phosphodiester bond will form between the 3' hydroxyl group and the 5' phosphate group. Okay, here you can see between these 3' hydroxyl 5' phosphate, you got here the phosphodiester bond, one phosphate molecule and 2 ester molecules, two esters can be seen. So between one nucleotide and another nucleotide, you can see phosphodiester bond. Okay, so when you treat the restriction antinuclease enzyme, restriction enzymes which cuts this phosphodiester bonds or breaks this phosphodiester bond, whereas DNA ligase enzyme responsible for the ligation or sealing or stitching of the phosphodiester bond between the two nucleotides. Now let us understand here the ligation steps. Okay, how the ligation will be happening. Let us understand here. So here what happens in the ligation steps? One, self-adenylation of DNA ligase enzyme can be seen. Okay, self-adenylation. This is the huge DNA ligase. Okay, this is the, like DNA ligase means they are enzymes. Enzymes basically made up of chemically they are made up of proteins. All proteins are not enzymes, right? But all enzymes are proteins. So this is the enzyme. Here you can see self-adenylation of DNA ligase. Here what happens, I told you this DNA ligase enzyme, they need free ATP or NAD+. Here ATP or NAD+ reacts with the ATP or NAD+ reacts with the ligase enzyme to form a covalent enzyme AMP complex. AMP means free ATP get converted into adenosine monophosphate. Okay, this is ATP. Okay, two phosphate molecule will be released in the form of inorganic pyrophosphate. Here one of the molecule will be as adenosine monophosphate. Okay, we're forming covalent enzyme. This is a covalent enzyme adenosine monophosphate. Okay, this AMP is linked to amino group. This AMP, adenosine monophosphate, will be linked to amino group of a lysine residue in the active site of the enzyme through a phosphoamide bond. Okay, you can say phosphoamide bond. Through phosphoamide bond, which is going to a link at the active site region. So this is self-adenylation of DNA ligase. In the second step, what happens here? Second step, adenyl group transfer to DNA. Okay, this adenyl group transfer to the 5' region of the DNA molecule. In this, adenosine monophosphate moiety activates the phosphate group at the 5' end of the DNA molecule to be joined, and it is called as the donor. Okay, it is called as the donor here. In the next step, what happens here? The final step, that is step 3, phosphodiester bond formation. In this case, what happens? The final step is nucleophilic attack. Here you can see, you can see here, the nucleophilic attack will be happening from the 3' hydroxyl region. Okay, nucleophilic attack by at the 3' OH group of this activated phosphate atom, which acts as the acceptor. Okay, and forms there a phosphodiester bond will be formed and AMP will be released. After nucleophilic attack, their phosphodiester bond will form and this AMP will be released, and later we can see the formation of the phosphodiester bond with the release of adenosine monophosphate after the nucleophilic attack. Okay, so now let us go through this mechanism of action of DNA ligases. Okay, so in this case, ATP or NAD+ reacts with the ligase enzyme to form a covalent enzyme AMP complex, in which the AMP is linked to amino group of a lysine residue in the active site of the enzyme through a phosphomide bond. So this has happened in the step 1 reaction. Okay, next in the step 2, the AMP moiety activates the phosphate group at the 5' end of the DNA molecule to be joined, and it is called as the donor. Okay, next in the final step, what has happened there? Nucleophilic attack. Okay, here nucleophilic attack by the 3' hydroxyl group on this activated phosphorus atom, which acts as the acceptor. Okay, then there you can see the formation of phosphodiester bond. When AMP is released, there you can see the formation of phosphodiester bond. Then the reaction is driven by the hydrolysis of pyrophosphate released during the formation of the enzyme adenylate complex. That time what happens when the two pyrophosphate were released, there two high energy phosphate bonds are spent in forming phosphodiester bond in the DNA backbone with ATP serving as energy source. Okay. Then the temperature optimum for T4 DNA ligase mediated ligation in vitro, that will be at 16 degree Celsius. However, ligation is also achieved by incubation at 4 degrees Celsius by incubating overnight or at room temperature condition by incubating for 30 minutes. Okay. Then adenylate and DNA adenylate are the important intermediates of the phosphodiester bond. Here you can see the ligation. Okay, sticky ended ligated with the sticky end, blunt ended ligated with the blunt end. It means he cannot go for ligating blunt ended with the sticky ends. Compulsory, there must be compatibility. If you have a blunt end and in the vector in the desired DNA molecule, if you have a sticky ends, but you can convert this blunt ended DNA molecule to sticky ended DNA molecule. Okay. Now let us go through another concept which is known as linkers and adapters. Okay, linkers and adapters which are used in DNA fragment during the gene manipulation to add to the blunt ended DNA molecule. Okay, we can add these linkers and adapters to the blunt ended DNA molecule. First, let us understand what are these linkers. Okay, this is the linker. Okay, this is the linker. Linkers are short piece of double stranded DNA of non-nucleotide sequence and are synthesized in test tube. Okay, and these linkers will be blunt ended with restriction site. Okay, please keep in your mind. For example, this is the typical linker. Okay, when you take this is the typical linker. In this linker, we are using the restriction enzyme sequences. Okay, palindromic sequences we are using here, and that to known restriction sequences of the restriction enzyme. For example, this restriction site for the responsible for the BAMH1. Okay, this is the one linker. On both the side you can see the blunt ended DNA molecule with restriction sites. These restriction sites are recognized by this particular specific enzyme BAMH1. It means this BAMH first restriction sites are GGATCC. When you read in the opposite direction, GGATCC. That's the same. It means we are using here the palindromic recognition sites for the linkers to prepare the linkers. Here you can see this is the typical linker of BAMH1. Now let us go through why these particular linkers are used. Okay, these linkers are used in the RNA technology to convert blunt-ended DNA molecule into sticky-ended DNA molecule. Okay, here you can see the blunt-ended DNA molecule. Okay, and here you can see the final step. We have converted blunt-ended DNA molecule into sticky ends. Now let us understand. As I told you, these particular linkers are with the known restriction sites enzymes, right? So restriction sites, if there are restriction sites means to that restriction site, and what kind of restriction site are we using here? Sticky enzymes. Sticky enzymes restriction site we are using here. So this sticky enzymes restriction sites, when you treat that particular restriction enzyme, they will definitely cut in the zigzag pattern, or they'll cut in the sticky pattern, right? So that is the hint. That is the principle behind this particular conversion of blunt-ended DNA molecule to sticky-ended DNA molecule. So here, this is the blunt-ended DNA molecule. Here we are in the reaction tube, we have treated with the linkers. Linkers we have treated, many linkers we have treated. When we treat the many linkers, you are going to also treat with the DNA ligase enzyme. When you treat the DNA ligase enzyme, this DNA ligase enzyme will be join or ligate this to this particular blunt-end DNA. The linkers are joined. See, now you have extended the DNA molecule, right? They can see the on both the sides the extension of the DNA molecule. After this extension, first we treated the DNA ligase enzyme for the ligation of all the linkers. Next, we treated here the bomb H first or H1. After treatment of the bomb H1, here what happens? This restriction enzyme recognize their sequence GGATCC, then that will cut on either sides of the axis of symmetry. On either sides of the axis of symmetry. If this is the restriction site, one cut will be here, one other cut will be here. When they give such kind of cuts, you are going to get the zigzag pattern of the restriction ends. Okay. So after the treatment of the bomb H1 restriction enzyme, this enzymes which cuts the they recognize the restriction sites, then they cut on either sides the restriction site sequences. Once they cut, all the other linkers which will be released, and only the first linker which are attached to the blunt-ended DNA molecule will be ligated, because that cuts will be happening at one cut will be here, another cut will be here, and they will be apart. But here there is no any kind of cutting particular condition. Okay, so this will be ligated over there. So we have converted here from the blunt-ended DNA molecule to sticky-ended DNA molecule, okay, by using the typical linkers. And these are the cleaved linkers are removed. Only this is important. Okay, this is one of the uses of linkers. Now let us go through uses of linkers. Okay, this is the typical linker. On either sides you can see the blunt-ended DNA molecule. Okay, this is the representation of the linkers. Okay, both the side you can see the blunt-ended fragment. But when we treat the specific restriction enzyme to that unique restriction site, then when they give the cut, they are going to give the sticky-ended DNA fragment. Okay. Now let us go through the uses of linkers. Linkers are blunt-ended DNA with restriction site. Okay. On either sides, you can see the blunt-ended DNA molecule. Within this blunt-ended DNA molecule, we have incorporated the restriction site or palindromic sequences for the specific restriction enzymes. For example, BAM-H1 recognize the specific sequences like GGATCC. Opposite direction also GGATCC. Such kind of restriction sites were used in the used during the preparation of the linkers, because when we treat this particular restriction enzyme, they recognize the space sequences, they cut on either ends of the DNA fragment, then you are going to get the zigzag or sticky ended DNA fragment. DNA ligase attach linkers to another cut end of the DNA fragment and produced elongated strands, as we have seen in the previous picture. Then this restriction enzyme cleaves the chains at recognition sequence, producing a large number of cleaved linkers and the original DNA fragment carrying this BAM-H first restriction enzymes sticky ends. Okay, these are the few uses of linkers. Now the second method of attaching sticky ends to blunt-ended molecule is designed to avoid more than one itself attacking linkers to blunt end. It means, as we have seen here in the beginning, what has happened here, all the linkers are connected, right? All the linkers are all the linkers which are connected with each other, and there we got the extension. But again, after the treatment of this balm head first, then we converted blunt-ended DNA molecule to the sticky-ended DNA molecule to avoid linking of all the linkers to this particular one linker. We are going for the modification here, okay, by using the adopters. Now let us understand about the adopters. Hope you understood here. This is the second method of attaching sticky ends to blunt-ended molecule, okay, which were designed to avoid more than one itself attacking or attaching, okay, attaching linkers to blunt end DNA molecule. And this can be done through adopters. By using the adopters, we can go for such kind of manipulation. We can avoid the binding of many linkers together. Okay, now let us understand here about the adopters. Okay, adopters are like linkers which are short synthetic oligonucleotides. Even linkers are short synthetic oligonucleotides. So this is the typical adopter. Okay, in adopter, one side you can see the blunt ended DNA molecule, and the another side you can see the sticky ends. But the linkers were, both the sides were blunt ended. That was looking like a brick, right? Whereas this adapter, which looks like a one side is blunt ended, other side is the sticky ended region. Okay. An adopter synthesized was in the such a way that one end is sticky ended and other is the one ended is the blunt end, other end is the sticky end. This is one of the typical adopter. Okay, typical adopter GATCCGA. Okay, we have used this kind of this particular adopter here, CCGG, which is a palindromic sequence. We can use this kind of particular typical adopter. In this particular case, we are using one of the adopter, which is a warm H first key end. So let us go through again. What are adopters? Adopters are short synthetic oligonucleotides, okay, containing one sticky end. One sticky end, okay. Then problem with adopters is that two adopters could ligate to one another. Again, they become blunt-ended DNA molecule. As this is the sticky ends, this sticky end DNA, which has the tendency to ligate with the other sticky ended DNA molecule, because once they get any complementary DNA molecule, that compatibility which brings, and they may ligate with each other. Once they ligate with each other in presence of DNA ligase enzyme, again we got here the blunt-ended DNA molecule. So to avoid this particular adopters ligation, there is a manipulation has done. Okay, what kind of manipulation we have done here? We removed the phosphate group from the 5' region. Okay, for example, let us understand why are we doing that manipulation. Because see, this is the adopter could ligate each other because of the single stranded extension. Once they get the compatibility complementary sequences, they ligate by themselves, right? And once they ligate by themselves, okay, after the treatment of the DNA ligase, then they ligated and they become, we had here the blunt-ended DNA molecule. After subjecting this particular adopters, we got again here the blunt-ended DNA molecule, right? So here adopters ligate themselves. Again we got blunt, here also blunt-ended, after the treatment of the adopters also blunt-ended. So change this particular concept, we manipulated the adopters. It means how we manipulated: sticky ends of individual adopter molecules could base pair with each other to form dimers, right? Here you can see the formation of the dimers. Two adopters ligate with each other and they become dimers. To avoid the dimers, we manipulated, okay, so that new DNA molecule is still blunt-ended. After the dimer formation, still the DNA molecule in the blend-ended condition, but we need to convert that blend-ended DNA molecules to sticky-ended DNA molecule here. Here, to avoid this dimer formation, adopter molecules are recreated or modified. How we recreated? In this adopter molecule, one of the phosphate group removed from the 5' termini region. Okay. And how we can remove the phosphate molecule from the 5' terminal region? By using alkaline phosphatase enzyme. This enzyme responsible for the removal of the phosphate group. Whenever you want phosphate group, you can remove by using this enzyme. Whenever you want, you need to add the phosphate molecule. That time you can treat polynucleotide kinase. Okay. This polynucleotide kinase, which is going to add phosphate group at that particular terminal region of the 5'. Okay. So why are we doing this one? In this modified 5' region, when we remove that phosphate molecule, there you can see the presence of hydroxyl terminus. When we have hydroxyl terminus in the adopter, that could not ligate to one another adopter, because one can get successfully sticky ended fragment with adopter. Okay, it means here, see one side we this is modified one. Okay, see one side here you can see this is, just imagine this is the 5' phosphate group. Opposite one will be 3' hydroxyl group, right? Whereas here 3' hydroxyl and here 5' phosphate molecule. So here we are removed from the 5' region. When we remove the phosphate molecule, here you can see the presence of 5' hydroxyl. Here 5' hydroxyl and here 3' hydroxyl. When they have such kind of modified free ends, 3' hydroxyl, 5' hydroxyl, then there won't be any formation of the dimers. Another DNA molecule could not come and ligate here. Okay, another adopters could not form any kind of dimer formation because they repel each other. They don't have any kind of affinity at that particular position. So now let us go through here how that particular ligation occurs. Ligation using adopters. So this is the blend-ended DNA molecule, and we have here the modified adopters with 5' hydroxyl instead of 5' phosphate. Here is a 5' hydroxyl. This were treated in the test tube. Okay, all these modified adopters to the blend-ended DNA molecule. After the treatment of this, then we treated here the DNA ligase. Once we treat DNA ligase job is to seal the the particular adopters to the blend-ended DNA molecule. Okay, you can see here the sealing is done over here. So on either sides, we are converted from blend-ended DNA molecule to sticky-ended DNA molecule. Now here at the 5' region, instead of phosphate group, there is the presence of hydroxyl group. Now our aim is now our job is to treat polynucleotide kinase. When you treat this polynucleotide kinase, which is going to add the phosphate molecule at the 5' region of the modified adopters. On either sides, we can add the phosphate molecule, okay, by using this polynucleotide kinase. And successfully, we are able to convert this blend-ended DNA molecule to sticky-ended DNA molecule. Now, this kind of DNA molecule is ready to insert to the vector DNA with the sticky-ended vector system. Okay. Then adopters and linkers are short double-stranded DNA molecules that permit different cleavage sites to be interconnected. Okay, you can see here, even you can find decameric linker molecule. Okay, you can see here the one of the example, decameric DNA molecule or linker molecule. Okay, this is equal restriction site. Equal restriction site is GGAATT. Okay, TTC. Okay, GAATTC. Okay, GAATTC. This is the one of the unique restriction site. They are in palindromic condition. Okay, you can see here GAATTC. Here also you can see GAATTC. TTC. So here 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. GAA TTC and also GAA TTC. We can see here the palindromic sequence. To this restriction site on either sides, we can add other different kind of nucleotides. Okay, and becomes decameric linker molecule. Even that can also be used. Here you can see the reaction. Okay, again, for example, if this is the vector DNA molecule, whenever you cut the vector DNA molecule, one end will be phosphate molecule, another end will be hydroxyl molecule. Okay, when we treat the DNA ligase enzyme, here you can see the formation of ligation can be seen. Okay, both the ends were ligated. Okay, and sometime what happens, we want to introduce our foreign DNA, but we don't want this vector DNA molecule to ligate with each other. Okay, to avoid that, we can treat here the alkaline phosphatase enzyme. Here, this alkaline phosphatase enzyme, which is removing the phosphate molecule from the 5' region. So, this alkaline phosphatase enzyme, which has removed the 2 phosphate molecule from this 5' region, and you can see here 3' hydroxyl and 5' hydroxyl. 3' hydroxyl and 5' hydroxyl. To such kind of vector system, when you treat the DNA ligase enzyme, no reaction. No reaction in the sense, these two DNA molecule never ligate or recirculation can be prevented. This alkaline phosphatase enzyme, after the treatment, when this enzyme removes the phosphate molecule, recirculation of the vector DNA can be avoided. Okay, then we can, by this time, we can keep our foreign DNA fragment ready. Okay, with the 3' hydroxyl and 5' phosphate. 3' hydroxyl and 5' phosphate. Once our foreign DNA molecule is ready, we can treat here the DNA ligase. Okay, and you can also treat here the polynucleotide kinase. When you treat here the polynucleotide kinase, this enzyme which is going to add at the 5' region phosphate group. Okay, and here also again at the 5' region, which is going to add the phosphate group. Once the phosphate group is added over to the 5' modified region, then when you treat the DNA ligase enzyme, ligation can be seen, and this vector DNA is known as recombinant DNA vector, responsible ready for the transformation, are ready for the introduction into the host system. Okay, I told already about this linkers and adapters. Here also you can see in the foreign DNA, and this is the linkers. Okay, so this linkers with the sticky ends, sticky restriction enzymes. Foreign to this foreign DNA, you can treat the linkers here. I have used the linkers which are of E. coli. Okay, E. coli, that is EcoR first. EcoR first restriction enzymes linkers are used here. You know better, EcoR first, which is you're going to give the cut of sticky ends. Okay, sticky ends. When you treat here the DNA ligase enzyme, these linkers will be ligated or attached, okay, to this particular blunt-ended foreign DNA molecule. But I want to convert this blunt-ended DNA molecule into sticky ends, then add EcoR1 restriction enzyme to these linkers, and this particular linkers will be cut, and once the cut, you're going to get the appearance of sticky ended DNA fragment. Now this kind of foreign DNA is ready to be inserted into the vector DNA molecule. Instead of linkers, you can also use ready-made adapters with the sticky ends. So you know the difference here. This is the linkers, blunt ended on both the side, blunt ended, whereas the adapters, one end will be blunt ended, other end will be you are going to get the sticky ends can be seen here. Okay, so to convert this blunt ended DNA molecule into sticky ended DNA molecule, you can use linkers or you can also use the adapters. So this is the one of the applications of linkers and adapters which are used for the conversion of blunt ended DNA molecule into a sticky ended DNA molecule. Okay, hope you understood today's concept. Thank you for being with me and thank you for watching. I, Dr. Pratibha K, signing off for today.